Share sponsor Lui Nishmas Hav Yakushom Nabas Yitzchok. We're holding in Bava Daf Gimel. We're starting at that base and with the base in the bottom. The Gemara tells us we're trying to figure out the toilada of in Av and Ezekiel. Is it like the Av or it's not like the Av? We mentioned in the previous daf the discussion Machlokes Rashi and the Rif. What exactly we're trying to achieve? Rashi says we're trying to find out if you're chayav in if the Tolda is chayav. The Rif, the way the Bishkov explains him, is not that you're chayav. Chayav, I know you're chayav. I'm trying to figure out the details of the Tolda. Is it similar to the Av or not? So the Gemara says like this. The Gemara ended where we ended the previous daf. The Gemara says the Tolda of Karen is like Karen, but we're referring to Shein V'Regel. That's what we're trying to figure out. Shein V'Regel, not the next attempt of the Gemara. Says the Gemara, Shein V'Regel, Heichaksivi. What does it say? Shein V'Regel. What's the source of Shein V'Regel? So the first thing the Gemara trying to know: how do I know that Shein V'Regel is chayav? So Shein is the animal eats things. Regel, the animal walks on things, tramples on things. The Tanya v'shilach zeh regel. The word v'shilach in the pasuk. V'shilach is beiroi, u'bir b'zdei but the pasuk says v'shilach is beiroi, u'bir b'zdei acher. So shilach refers to regel, walking. How do we know that? Chenu oimer mishalchi regel ashor v'achamor. It says mishalchi regel, referring clearly to regel. U'bir, what's bir? Zu Hashem. Chenu oimer kasher yevaher agolol atuma. Medaf gilun daf and daf. Bir, we're talking about shame. How do we know? Because it says Yevoer hagolol atuma. Yevoer will consume the golol until the end. What is a golol? So Rashi brings two explanations. Either golol refers to shame because golol means it's sometimes revealed and sometimes not. Pami megule upami mechuse. That's what golol means. Or golol refers to the as Rashi says, zerei, right? The excrement, the feces of the animal. So because the teeth takes the food and turns it into feces. That's why it's called golol. The Tosfos learns that golol is marble because the teeth look like marble. They're white, so they look like Evan Shaish. So different ways they know that golol is a tooth. And it says by Torah yevar lashon bir. So bir refers to shame. So the Gemara Mamar v'shilach zeh regel v'chenoim v'shalchi regel ashor v'achamor. That's what it says. That's what we learned. So what time of the kosov monim v'shalchi regel ashor v'achamor. Dafka goes the Torah called it with these words. Halavak without that. B'mayim mukuslo. How you can explain it? Ikeren ksiv, ishen ksiv. Meaning, what else would you say of a shilach? Karen already know, as we learned earlier. Shane we know because the Gemara is going to tell us. Once I know that beer is Shane, so mimele the shilach is regel. So I know already. There's nothing else to do it. It's right. So what itzich? Second, I would think indi Hashem. Maybe we talk about Shane. Both the shilach and beer is a Shane. So why should I need two psukim for Shane? I would say there's two types of shanes. There's a shane that eats the food and completely consumes it without leaving anything out. And then there's a shane which does not consume the thing completely. And that is something else. We need two psukim. Well, why should there be a difference? What's the difference over here? So here we have a big Machlokes Rashi Tosfos, and this has to do with the Havana and Shane. Rashi says, let's see, Dior Vatchel Idi Vidi, V'shilach ubir tarvayu Hashem. They both talk about Hashem. V'shilach also chiyu ve'echid deloy kali karni. What does it mean? The mashra gon shochel arugo, v'soifer lach zoy v'litzmoyach, avaloy ketchila. He ate a field, a garden, ate a batch. The animal ate a batch. And it's going to grow again, but not like originally was. Look at Chilo. So Rashi learns that we're talking about eating. The question is how much you're eating. Are you eating and completely destroying the field? Or you're eating and not completely destroying the field, they come back. So he says in Rashi, I don't understand. What do you mean? Who cares that it's going to come back? Right now you ruined what's here. Right? The animal goes into the garden and eats all the vegetables in the garden. Right now these vegetables are gone. So I have over here something which is not supposed to be here. What are you eating? So the way that Chaim understand Rashi is referring to the garden, not to the vegetables. Yeah, you're right. The vegetables are gone. But the garden is ruined somewhat. But it's not completely ruined. So Rashi says, this is what it means shame. Shame, the shame, that I had a hava, that's not part of shame, is something which he doesn't consume completely. Toy says, no, that's not shame. It's the same thing. Shame, Toys learned, shame means that she went and dirtied fruits. Tinfa peiros lanosa. She went and messed up the fruits. The fruits are there, but she went and messed it up. She didn't eat it. She tinfa peiros lanosa. It's a whole different thing over here. The way that Rav Nachum points out, says the difference between Rashi and Toysis, except the Havana and everything, this is a sugya on its own. But Rashi learns that the chiluk the Gemara is referring to over here is not in the pe'ula, not in the act. The act is the same. You're eating. The only question is, what is the result? I'm referring to the result. If Mechalek Karno means the result is there's nothing here left. Mechalek Karno, the result is it's still something here. Toysis learns that it's a different pe'ula, it's a different act. So the question is, what was the having over here in the Gemara? What we thought would be different. Says the Gemara, the hashta do kumino are regular. Now that we learn regular, shen de lo mechalek karno minolo. Okay, so you said the shilach is regular. So how do I know about shame? You said that without knowing anything, I would say that shame speaks about mechalek karno. Lo mechalek karno means not completely gone without no. So now how do you know? Says the Gemara, do me the regular. Not for regular. My regular loishno mechalek karno, loishno lo mechalek karno. Regular, there's no difference. Avshein loishno mechalek karno, loishno lo mechalek karno. So the same, by regular there's no difference, also shein is no difference. How do you know regular is no difference? And you're so sure to learn shein from there. So Rashi says, da loichti bei ubir. So meaning Rashi says like this. The hava mino mechalek karno is the word beer. Beer. The word beer sounds like it's completely consumed. The shilach tells you not completely consumed. Toysa says different, right? He says that the reason why, Toysa is bringing from a different angle. Toysa's point is that so we really, the question goes like this. So just write regular no shem. So Toysa says, because then I would say the shilach means shilach shiluchay. I'm saying it a little bit unclear. Let me just rephrase it. Now that we know what the Gemara said regarding shein, that you have to write a beer, you have to write a shilach. To tell me both. Why can't I just write one of them? So Rashi learns if I would write only one, I would say it means kalakana. Not kalakana, not. Torah says if I would write only v'shilach, I would say that v'shilach means only when you send, as the Gemara is going to say in a moment. Says Rav Nachum that all depends on the original machlokes between Rashi and Tosis. Rashi learns that the pool is the same. The result is different. So if the result is different, I need to tell you which results are chayav. I don't know which one. But according to Tosis, it's a different pool. Different pool means different words, referring to different pools. So the Gemara, so now the Gemara says that it says v'shilach by regel, and by regel I'm telling you that there's no difference. It doesn't say ubir. So according to Rashi, that itself tells you that the beer itself tells you. The fact doesn't say the word beer by regel. Tells you by regel is not mechayikano. One way they say, the way of Kivega points out over here, is the pshat that the mere fact that you have a different in the lashon. And by shen it says beer, mashra everything. By regel it says v'shilach, not mashra everything. So the difference between the two points out the fact that it's not the same. So v'shilach means even not mechayikano, that teaches you on a beer. Beer refers to shen. You want to tell me that beer means chain, referencing the pasuk. So again, what would you put it? Same questions as more before. I have nothing else to explain it. Irregular ksiv because it says v'shilach. Same way yitzich. Sagelet chamini dividi irregular. Both irregular. Had the ozil mimei. Had the shalosh shluchim. Depends on the regular. If you send it, meaning the owner really told it to go to that place, basically directed it to the other field, or it went on its own. I would say your chayav only mean directed. If not, kamash mala. So, v'hashto the uki hashem. Now that we talk about shame, regel dozui melami nolon. How do I know regel? Now that we talk about shame, how do I know regel? Says the Gemara, do me the shame. So what the shame? How do I know by shame there's no difference? Because it doesn't say the v'shilach. So once I know the beer is shame, I know shilach is regel, so and I know and I understand the mashmos that the word v'shilach doesn't means to send, but beer not, and beer means to consume, but shilach not. So what I learn from each other. So when we look to one of v'shilach, will buy you beer, the mash regel, mash machine. Why don't we just say v'shilach? Just say v'shilach, and with knowing v'shilach, I'm going to know both shen and regel. Mash regel ichtim mishalchi regel ashor v'achamor. That's the pasuk we used before. Mash machine ichtim shen behemois ashalach bo. I'll send animals to them. Shalach bo. Here there's a big problem with this understanding because what's the pasuk says shen behemois ashalach bo? We're referring to the pasuk Parshas Hazinu that says that one of the punishments that Rosh Baruch Hu is going to do is send animals to eat Am Yisrael. The Chura, that's talking not about regular shame. It's talking about Karen. It's talking about Hezek. Why is it more bringing this a raya for shame? So Tosha says that in the reference what Tosha says, we're talking about that it's bad animals, chayas ros, beasts that enjoy eating. That's their enjoyment. It's not an ezek. They have to say that in the pasuk. It's a var chiddush because that's not the pasuk pshat. When I'm telling you, the Torah says shen be'eretz shalachbo. So when you love korah, you say havamina oyo. So well, no, it would say v'shilach. I don't know what to apply it to. Carrying a regular shen, so I will not know. Or regular is a gamotzu, or regular which is more common, or shen de'shano le'ezeko. So when michdish kulim, they're both the same. V'yavo shneim. If they're both the same, meaning they're both equally important or equally strong, show them both. Says the Gemara, yeah, going back to what we did before. The word v'shilach is mashma, you just said it. So if I would learn shein and regel from the word v'shilach, I would learn that v'shilach means to send it. But now that it says beer without the shilach, that's what it means. Now, it's interesting, the mashmos, especially the last sentence of the Gemara, that it's nothing to do with shein and regel. It happens to be the v'shilach mashma to send, or beer means to consume. It could have been the opposite. But the Rashba learns that it also has to do with the characteristic of the thing. A regel that you send out, is something that is more normal for regel to be directed by the owner. Shein is more normal to be consumed. So according to the Rashba, you have to understand what does that mean in the Gemara. It says v'shilach, you'd say it means only when it was sent. But shein is not normal to be sent. So why would you think that? So the simple understanding just to say is, because once you learn from the same pasuk, shen and regel means to send, I would say shen applies to regel, shen and regel are the same halachas. That's why I need to have a special source for shen to tell you it will not be different than regel. And according to this Rashba, it's understood what's the shakratayim of the Gemara. It's a question, what's the answer? What was the inhabit of the Gemara? The Gemara knows the shilach means just to send. But according to the Rashba Pshat is, I would think maybe shen, it's its own characteristic. That it doesn't, you don't usually send it, so maybe then Mashiach doesn't mean to send. So well, no, once you learn both of the same pasuk, I would say they both mean to be sent. Zok the Gemara told us the shen mahi. Okay? So now we're in the middle of the sugya. We're trying to figure out the tolados are like the avanat. So now we learn now that shen and regel there is an issue. What is the tolad? She rubbed herself against the wall with enjoyment, and the wall fell. Right? So the wall crashed because of that. She makes the fruits dirty, as I mentioned before. So now we're going to finish. Shane, there's a no lezeko. It's something that she enjoys. It's your moment. You have shmir. Simple thing. Meaning they are exactly the same. So, meaning whatever you have by the Av, you should have a Tolo. According to Rashi, you have to say the same way by Av you chayav, the Tolo you chayav. According to the Riv, you have to say that the same way by Av you are, by Av you have the definitions of Shem when you're Pater and you're chayav. So by Tolo should be the same thing. Elo told the Shen Geshen. Well, you're right. Shen is exactly the same thing. Told the Regel. Talk about Tolo Dov Regel. Told the Reg Mai, what is it? All these things are talking about the animal is walking, and while it's walking, it's causing a nezik, right? So either her body or her hair. Shalav Shaleo is a saddle. Frum B'Shirafio is the muzzle. Suk Shabbat Tzavah means the bell. So similarly, the same thing. That's a normal ezik. That's your moment. Hanami ezik matzu lecho. Similar thing. Similar. Told the regel kiregel. The told of regel is like regel. You're right. Homer Papa told the bar. Talk about bar. Told the bar. My knee. What do you want from her? Ilim av you told the test. The av will be a bar which is 10 tfachim high, and the tolada is 9 tfachim high. Why? Because it wasn't 11 teaches later that a bar is 10 tfachim you're chayav when the animal dies. 9 tfachim, you're not chayav the animal dies, you're chayav only a nezik. So 2 even didn't. So once again, lo tet ksi v'lo yuksi. Tet is not mentioned, you is not mentioned. It's all learned from a drasha. So I look that's not a problem. The Torah says that it dies and then the mace goes to the owner of the bar. Meaning 10 makes miso. 10 nizikin avdi, miso avdi. Okay, so you have 2 different boys, a 10 and a 9. Says the Gemara, so you have the miso, okay. So you have 2 others. Why call it Av and Toldo? One is one is miso, one is zikin. Rashi over here has 2 explanations when the Gemara brings the Havli. If you look at Rashi says, Zev and Zikin, the long Rashi on the right. The Novo Shor Bor Tisha V'Meis Patu Balabar. Right? If the shore falls into a bor of 9 tfachim, it's Patu. V'im Hu Zog Chayav. V'kim No Zog Chayav. V'Avu, Amidiyuka de Konak. How do you know that you're Chayav and Zikin of 9? From a Diyuk. V'Nichtiva Meisi Elohi. Timashra Bor Asoro de Bar Miktul Chayav Misa Ashor. Habatsu Me'achim Misa Chayav and Mizik Mis Chayav. It's a Diyuk. It says that you have in miso. What's miso? Only a bar of 10. Mashra if it will be 9. No. 9. I mean, it would be 9. You won't be chayav miso. You have an izaki. So you birth learn from a pasuk. Lishta Achrino says Rashi. Soif zav l'miso l'zikin. Techiekin nafka mikro bor asor l'miso. Nafka bor tish l'zikin. It's not a diuk. It's the pasuk itself. Ch'tir afasho shor chamor. Masho bein meis ben uzok. Par bolisha. It's the same bar. All the words are the same. Miu meis ashom rabon b'bor tisha patu lo machmas bor meis teim kadei la'amis. Aval who's a chayav the bor tisha v'anizokim. So Rashi here says 2 explanations. This is a big Gabi bor. Just to mention here, just to say this of the word, is that the first Rashi is you need a pasuk to tell you a 10th tfachim bar, and then a pasuk to tell you about 9th tfachim bar. 10th tfachim bar is misa. Do you for a pasuk? If it will be less, you chayav v'anizokim. Second shot Rashi is no, they're all the same. Born, dying, 10, 8, it's the same bar. Everything is the same. But when an animal dies in 10, 9 tfachim, we're going to tell you she didn't die because of the bush, she died because of a different manner. Something else caused her to die. It's a technical thing, but it's the same bar. So this is a big concept. When I'm talking about a board 10, a board 9, is it 2 different bars? Or a board 10 and a board 9 is the same bar. Just same idea of bar, just different heights. Just by 9, you don't have Misa. That's going to be 2 Pshatim in Rashi. It's a big enough community how to learn Divrei Rambam. It's 2 different boros. It's a new concept of bor. But Al Kol Panim, Rashi learns, when the Gemara says, I don't know if will be here, when the Gemara says here, Ze'am L'misa, Ze'am L'nizokim, doesn't mean, according to Pshat Rashi, there's 2 different boros. There's a bor of Av L'misa, another bor L'nizokim. According to the second Pshat Rashi, it's the same bar that has times Yechav Misa, times Yechav L'nizokim. Let's keep it in mind for later in the Masechah. This is more La'av Nisakinu Masoy Shenichum Rishus Rabbi. You know the option. We'll talk about his rock, his knife, his carry-on that he lifted in Rishus Rabbi. V'yiziku caused nezik. So what's the case? Idaf Karinu, we made it half carry, and that's what someone fell on it. That's a regular board according to everybody. Board could be either a pit or it could be something you put in Rishus Rabbi. We're continuing Daf Gimel on the base. If you didn't make it half care, if you want to say this is still a bar, so it's a bar. That a moving bar, you learn from an animal, and the shore we learned before that told of shores like shore. The definition of bar is that it started as a nezik. That's all its purpose. And as it started was a nezik, it would be the same thing. Ella told the boy kebor. Told the boy is like boy. Papa told the mavi. Talk about mavi. I knew what's mavi. Shmuel dar mavi is the shame. We learn soon. Mavi means the shame. How come you told the shame? We already said it. Told the shame is like shame. Rav dar mavi is odom. He says mavi is odom. My ovus my told us isbei. Where's Avin told him? Whatever Adam does, he's chayav. Told Yosher. We say when a person is awake and he does a nezek, that's one thing. When he's asleep, it's something else. We learn Adam muad loylom bin er bin Yoshin. We learn that a person is muad even when he's sleeping. So no difference. Ella kichoy v'nir. We're talking about his spit, his saliva when he spits out. Echidami. In the bad as the maski is doing nezek as it's flowing from his mouth. That's his power. It's him. It wasn't the naich if it falls on the floor and then someone slips in it. Bein the rabbi in the shmur line the bar. It's a bar. Ella told him mave ke mave. So again, mave is the same thing. Chikoma papa told the deish. Told the deish. Told deish my new. What's told deish? Ilim ya avnei sakir masoy shlichim v'rosh gagav v'noflu b'ruach mitzuya v'ziku. Talking about something we said before. You have the stone, his knife, his masor, and the head at the top of the roof, and then it flies in the air, and as it's flying, it hits. While it's flying, it's mazik, that's exactly ish. There's other things involved in it. Meaning there's wind that's involved in it. Right? So that's the same thing. Now, told the Eshkesh. Told the Esh is like Esh. Just one area over here before we go on. When the Gemara says that Eish, the definition of Eish is Koyach Acher Me'ur Ben, something else. It's not only the fire, it's the wind as well. Is that a kula or is that a chumrah? That's something Machlokes Rishonim. The Raj will learn that it's that we're talking about here, it's a chumrah. The Koyach Acher Me'ur Ben says, as Rashi says, Aval Asukya Daite. The owner should have realized this. It's not only fire, it's the wind as well. You have to be more careful. Taisus learned that in the beginning of the Masechta, the first words, Taisus learns the Krach Chamur B'em is what? Is a kula. Meaning it's not the thing itself going, it's only the fire. So the Achronim explain, this is Machlokes what we learned in yesterday's daf. The Machlokes between Rashi and Taisus is to how to understand what is the chiyuv of a moment of mazik. We learned, Machlokes, moment of mazik is the issue is that it's your moment doing the nezik, or the chiyuv is because you didn't guard it. Rashi learned, as we mochiach yesterday's daf, that it's because you didn't guard it, you didn't shomer it, you didn't do shmira. You didn't do shmira, so for that, if you didn't do shmira, so he's saying, if krachim were bad, you should be more careful, you should have shmira. But if you learn it's moment of mazik, my moment of nezik, it wasn't my moment. It was not only fire. It was krach and it was also the wind. So that's the machlokes. It's more of a kula, more of a chum. Says the Gemara, so I told the Eshkis, I told the regular. Looking for regular. Come here, I told the regular. We said the regular is regular. Why are you going back to this? Says the Gemara, Chatzi Nezek Tzorois. The Yichas Gemira law. Chatzi Nezek Tzorois is what? When the animal kicks with his leg and throws out a pebble that hits something, then you're not Chayiv Nezek Sholem. Not Chayiv the full Nezek, Chayiv only Chatzi Nezek. Says that, right? That's what it is. Am I correlated told the regal? Why it's a told the regal? The shamil aliyah. You pay the full amount. In other words, he owes the money. The owner owes the money. Aliyah means you go back to the owner. I don't care what the value of the animal is, and you take from the animal, you take from the owner whatever you can take, extract from his money to pay for it. Similar, that was a question of Rava. You pay from the animal. If the animal is worth only 10 and he damaged 100, you just pay 10. Or you mean aliyah mishal. So when the Rava had a question, but it's clear, and that's what makes it service regular, because they both pay min aliyah. So Rava the Abayli and my correlate told the regular. Why is it called told the regular? The fight you Rishus Rabbi. Regular you part to Rishus Rabbi. We'll learn later. The Gemara is going to teach you that a regular is chayav only when it goes into Rishus Nizek. In Rishus Rabbi, when it's out in the street, is patur. Service is also patur in Rishus Rabbi, and that's what you learn from regular. Right, so now the one hell over here, and this will be another sugya on its own that we'll see later, just to point it out because Rashi says over here. What is the halacha which we see? Rashi says Chatzi Nezek service, and Rashi says in the middle of Rashi, the Yichas Gemil Moshe Sinai the Mamoino. The halacha Moshe Sinai tells you it's a moment, Poliknas. That's what the halacha Moshe Sinai is. Not only you pay Chatzi Nezek, but the halacha Moshe Sinai is Mamoino. Though the Rashba argues, Rashba says the halacha Moshe Sinai is you don't pay full amount, you pay only half. But the fact that it's regular, that's not the halacha Moshe Sinai. What's the machlekes over here? So Nachrim explain. The machlekes, and we'll see later the Daf Kamir. Just going to put here the concept. The machlekes is, according to Rashi, tzroiris is a new thing. It has nothing to do with regular. Throwing pebbles in the air, it's a whole new category. The Torah tells you, you should know which category is it. Something new. It says halacha Moshe Sinai, it's a regular. The Rashba learns it's not a new thing. It's regular. You can walk or you can throw. But the halacha Moshe Sinai says in this case you're not paying fully, pulling half. So according to the Rashba, it's not something new. According to the Rashi, it's something new. We'll see later my nafkamina in the sugis. Let's just continue on to finish here the daf. The Gemara says, Hamav va'edler my mav. What's mav? Rabba mav is adam. Mav means a human being. Shmuel mav is shame. It means shame when an animal goes and eats. Rabba mav is adam. Mechtiv ama shomer osaboiker. Shomer refers to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Hakadosh Baruch Hu says the geula is coming. The gam laila. The geula. There is geula and there's chayshich. In tivayun bayu you have to daven. Very negative today. Bayu you have to daven. Lashon tivayun bayu is lashon daven. Shmuel Omar mav is Hashem. Dichtiv ech nechvesu yisav nev'u matzpunov. Matzpunov was revealed his intentions, and a shame is something which is revealed because it's something that's closed, something that's open. So that's what it's called nav. My mashma. How do we see from the second pasuk? Okay, Yeshiva dad was the one who was Mitagim. It says over here, why is Yeshiva Mitagim? It brings two explanations. Either because Yeshiva was blind, or because he was very bucky in Targum. Ichtinis lavish Esav is galim matrumoy. How Esav was hidden, and it was revealed what he was hiding. For all my time, why is that like Shmuel? If you want to say shame is navu with a nun, so you should go with a nun. Shmuel my time makrav. You talk about bayu. You want to use lashon pasuk, using the same reference, the same way that it's mentioned. Same hatoya of diktuk should be called boy. Why right? In pasuk you can say both ways. So why didn't you say Shmuel? I think one is going to go on to say, what's the reason Rabbi Shmuel? They're both not exact, but the Gemara is not going to come and explain why Rabbi Shmuel or actually a Taka argue. So first, just 2 points here to end. First of all, the Maharsha says over here, comes to explain a beautiful explanation. Why are we using Why does the Tana say clearly? Say Adam, say Shem. Why are you saying Mav and Nov? So Hashem goes into a whole Indian that Arba was said in the beginning of last year. Arba was thinking, speaks about different koyachas hara in the world. And this koyach hara is referring to Esav. And we want to tell you how to overcome it. Either by tefillah or by knowing that Kishbu will take away Esav. One nekudo that says why you change it. There's something very gavaldic over here though. Chaim Friedlander is the one who points it out. But it's really coming out from earlier sources. It says over here that Mave, according to one sheet, is Adam. So the definition of Adam is Mave. Why are you calling Adam Mave? You see over here, Adam is called a davener. That's who he is. This goes back to Adam Rishon. When Adam Rishon was created, says the Rashi, that HaKadosh did not allow the grass to grow because he was waiting for Adam Rishon to come and do what? And daven. What Adam is doing, Adam, the mitzias of Adam is to be daveners. What's the pshat? The davening is the reference of Adam towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's going to the Baruch and davening to Hashem. His whole mode is to be here in the world and refer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We'll speak about it more in length in the Shul Machshav Beis Hashem. But just to point out, what's the idea? Because why possess the daven? Why do you have to daven? HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows what you need. Answer is, HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows what you need, but you need to come and be pointed to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. To HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I need you. And that's the most of Adam. That's why the Adam's title is Mavi. Okay, we'll conclude with this. Beis Hashem, we'll talk later on the next year when it's going to be today. And you should have a wonderful day.